chief launcher. Please, the amount of the clap will determine the amount of launching. No, Shebi, you know that. So I want a very loud applause for the chief launcher, all the way from Ilorin. You are welcome, sir. Please sing with the chairman of the occasion, sir. Gusherki, Alhaji Ali Gusherki, the Kapukan Kagara, and Akemi Gusherki. He has so many appellations, no? FCA, MAA, round of applause for them. All the drugs that we'll be using, they are the one regulating and take, Can we rise for national anthem? Maybe one. Okay. Are you ready now? Thank you. Ah, may God bless Nigeria. Thank you very much. As we do that, please we'll be recognizing others as they come in, and the usher should quickly alert me if any of our invited guests run. Now, I hope we all have copies of this the program. We are done with the registration, introduction of guests. The next one is a welcome address by the author, Madam Shehu Olaitan Muhammed. Would you like to do it there? Or author coming around, he will say by himself. If not, he will have been reading his citation. But let him just speak. Eh? We thank the author for that, for welcoming all of us. Sincerely, you must not leave this room without getting a copy of this book. There are certain things you can borrow. You can borrow money.
And I happened to be the one to shortlist candidate for that job. And I said, it doesn't matter to me if you have someone who already was a chartered accountant with a first class, second class of a degree from such a university. So he was committed on his job. I never even saw the sickness. He reported to me for a total period of about 13 years directly. So, and I didn't see any time I saw someone that was sick. He did his job with determination, and everyone knew in the system that
Please let us appreciate the chairman for that wonderful speech. It's a Alhaji Ajibola. While he was sitting for the interview in Kaduna, me, I was sitting for. Say, it's so, Mrs. Josephine Olunake, please, let's have your lecture. Sorry, I didn't know you are there before. We'll have, please, a round of applause for her. She's a mother. You are welcome, man. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. I would like to stand on existing protocol. I celebrate everyone on the high table, and I especially celebrate my friend, my brother. I met him not too long ago, within the last 1 year, but we became very, 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 very close. So I celebrate you, and we appreciate you for bringing out your story to the world, not just to Nigerians, but to the world at large. I've gone through the book, and the simplicity was what swept me off my feet. This morning, we want to just talk to ourselves on why we are
You cannot wish sickle cell away, and therefore we must call attention to it as it is in the society. And the second point of awareness is to stop the next generation of sickle cell disorder people. Now, there are some sicknesses, there are some disorders that you actually don't know how it happened. Sometimes you're taking care of yourself, you're doing all the necessary things, and you are still hearing things like cancer, kidney failure. You just cannot put your hand on what you did wrong. But for sickle cell, it's not like that. For you to have it, you must have picked from mother and from father the sickle cell trait. And that is why sometimes it's painful when in this generation you still see month-old baby sickle cell, one finger swollen, mother crying, baby crying. It is very avoidable. And that is why we keep talking and calling awareness onto this. So we want to call attention to sufferers of this disorder. At the same time, we want to see how each and every one of us will be a part of stopping the next generation of warriors. Must we continue having the highest number? No. Even if we cannot stop it totally, let's minimize it. Now, can I minimize it alone? No. Can we do it alone? No. Can we all do it? Yes. And therefore this morning, we just want to talk and encourage ourselves. A lot of times we've been attending events, seminars, and then once we talk there, it ends in that venue. But I want this to be very different. Everybody must just take a deliberate stand. Deliberate stand in the sense that it might not concern you directly. You might not have a sickle cell child. You might not even have any in your family. But you will take a deliberate stand to see how you will play a role to put an end to it. A deliberate stand to be able to say something to the next person on why you will not have it, or to be able to say to the next person that already has it things that will make them not to be discouraged about life. The problem with sickle cell, as most of us knows, is a blood-related problem. Now, for the normal people without the sickle cell problem, your blood cells is alive for like 120 days. But for a sickle cell person, within 10 to 20 days, the blood cells keeps getting destroyed. Why? Because rather than the circle shape that will move easily within your small blood vessels, for a warrior, it will not last 120 days. Why? Because this blood cell itself will become sickle, sticky, it dies within 10 days to 20 days. That is why you see when a warrior is running and you are running, before they run to that stage, they are panting while you are still running. We need to have an understanding of what goes on with them so that you know how to actually approach warriors when you see them. A lot is going on within the body of a warrior. And you know, the thing is that it is a lifelong challenge. It's not a challenge that you say, I'm now 10 years old, it has finished. I'm now 20 years old, it has ended. It is something that is for life. And therefore, we must actually sit up and become aware of this thing and take it out. Don't wait for warriors to take it out themselves. They cannot do it on their own. And today, being the World Sickle Cell Day, we are calling attention to this fact. We are calling attention to the fact that these our voices need to be amplified. We all need to be a part of this. Biology then told us AS plus AS will be equals to AA, AS, and what? SS. They told us if you have 4 children, you will have 1 SS. That is what the primary biology told us. But it did not tell us that the 4 children can be SS. It did not tell us that out of the first 4, the 3 can be SS. They did not explain that. We had so many erroneous beliefs, and the most popular, they don't live long. They don't live long is what we knew while growing up. And a lot of us formed our life based on they don't live long. There was no awareness. Even now, the awareness is better than what it used to be. What we knew then was they don't live long, and some parts of Yoruba will say they are abiku. Some will say they are people that have come to waste the family's resources. And we've been to areas that you see them flogging as they want to flog the sickness out. You know, there are so many beliefs. I was in my village and I went to see my auntie in the school, and I said, oh, auntie, these children, these 2 people, why are they playing outside? Why are they not in the class? Yeah, how long will they live? Let them be playing their C class. Wow, within myself, I just didn't have a reply immediately. They were left to play because even the teacher is not aware they can live. She doesn't believe they can live. So they are allowed to play, assuming that they are helping them. So that let them enjoy. Don't stress them with book, they will soon die. And that is just the average thing we have in our heads. And what is our roles in all these things? When Alhaji told me about this book and I read it, sincerely speaking, I was very happy. I read it and went through again. I saw it touched almost every part. Now we want to analyze what a sickle cell person feels on a daily basis. They are hardly well. Sometimes in the morning, presently I don't make appointments for too long. I can agree with you now, and very soon I don't even have the strength for it. And you're like, I saw you yesterday, you're okay. I can't explain it to you. The tiredness just comes because the red blood cells keeps breaking earlier than they should. Something that should live 120 days, if it's living 20 days, do you hold it? No. You see a lot of warriors battling with AVN when the bones of the hips is just cracking like biscuits and they can't stop it. These are not things that are easy to handle. Some of them are having hearing problem, vision problem, you have jaundice, you have a lot of warriors, they don't stop bedwetting easily. So sometimes that is why we educate even the parents. If you see your warrior is in GS3, is in SS1, is still bedwetting, it is part of it. Don't get too agitated and say, at your age, you're still bedwetting. Just, we pray you learn to just accept and help them manage. We teach you, help them manage it. They don't like it too. They are not growing well as others should go. You see small stature, different kind of shapes and things like that. It is part of it. The leg ulcer is another issue. It goes on for years as if it has no solution. I had mine for 7 years. And sometimes I want to put my leg by the AC so that maybe when it's no solution. You go here, you spend there, you go this hospital, that hospital, general, private. You keep finding yourself going round in circles. These are pains that it keeps bringing out calls. You keep treating. Some have been treating in teaching hospitals for years. Some have carried their own for 12 years. Imagine having a wound for 10 years, for 7 years, and you keep tying bandage, you keep cleaning, you keep going to hospitals. Each treatment you are making payments. We see a lot of family under pressure. A lot of homes have been broken because of sickle cell. When there's accusation and counter accusation, you caused it, I did not cause it, and the child is witnessing all this. The warrior is witnessing all this. You have some suffering from priapism. A man, a male warrior, is having erection. It has nothing to do with sex. It has nothing to do with being turned on. It's just there, and he can't hold it. How many people do you begin to show your private part that is paining you? But the guy has to bear it. They are going through a lot already. So with all this, I'm just trying to give you an idea of what goes on in the life of a warrior. And there's a mental problem there. We see a lot of families will not even allow their children marry a warrior, even though that child is AA. If you bring a boy or a girl AA and he tells you, I want to marry a warrior, even though we know there is no problem because their children will only have it, they still refuse. Most employments do not want them. Very few accept them. With Elijah, we were talking about a warrior. He just came to my office and said, Ma, this is my salary. Why are you collecting salary on the 10th? Say somebody saw him taking folic acid and they reported to the boss, and the boss called him, are you a warrior? He said, yes. I'm sorry, I don't want you. It's just not that I don't want you, or you know you need to take care of yourself. And they paid him off that day. Now, he paid him for the full month as if he was helping him. This is a boy that has been in employment for almost 10 months without even a crisis. And that is the general thing that goes on in 80% of organizations in Nigeria. They just don't want warriors in their organizations. They just don't want their children to marry a warrior. They keep dealing with a lot, mental stress. And some of them have come to even feel nobody wants them. And that is why it has become a problem that we cannot continue to carry from generations to generations. That is why we cannot continue to put away our face to the other side. It is a problem that is staring at us in the face. And therefore, we must go head on from this moment. Now, what are we saying? Awareness. Some don't even know their genotype. By the virtue of running a foundation like many of us here, we've gone to schools, we've gone to homes, and you find out of 150, 200 people, your hearing is only 20 that knows their genotype. Now, because most School of the Blind, for instance, you know, when we went there, they have enough issues. Some will not use their money to go and do their genotype test. Some are not even in a position to even know it is existing. You go to these homes, they are struggling to feed them. Nobody is talking to them about genotype. And this is where the bone of the problem is. We cannot continue to ignore it and pretend it doesn't matter. It matters a lot. It matters a lot, and we must begin to address the issue. We want to call our attention to what you and I can do to be part of the solution. We just don't want to come here and just do a ceremony and launch the book. We want to make it an ongoing thing. We want you to deliberately decide to it. Now we want to appeal to schools. Now that I discovered that most schools, especially private schools, they don't want you coming to their school to talk about sickle cell. They prefer cultural days, professional days, dress and come like this. We are going to swimming pool. No, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But this is a part that must be included. Sometimes university, they already into relationships. Secondary school, primary school, we must catch them. Now you can only work with the information you know about. We are appealing to school owners if they are here, or you are affiliated to a school owner, or you know a school you can influence. Sickle cell must be talked about, because it can enter any family, any day, anytime. It is a painful and agonizing thing. It is by the grace of God that I am standing like this. It never used to be like this. All through my going, there is no year I completed class like every other person. It's either I'm repeating, I'm redoing exams, it's either I'm in coma, it was never like this. I remember that the time the crisis took me to coma, by the time I woke up, I forgot I had children. They had to keep telling me, this is your baby, she's Eniola. This is your, I said, oh, really? They were introduced, because the thing took a long time. There were times, even when I had my first child, I had to start learning how to walk again. They had to keep holding my hands to start learning how to walk again. There was a time in my life that I could not even know when I want to use the toilet. I do it there where I'm sitting. Thank God for my mom. I left my husband's house, not because we had issues, but I knew he couldn't manage it. I had to go back to my mom's house. If she was not alive, where would I have gone to? Who will manage an adult in that position? It is very dehumanizing, but I'm bold to talk about it because God has taken me past that stage. Sometimes we need to visit the hospitals to know that life is not a roller coaster. There's a lot going on with people. And the way we talk, the way we interact matters a lot. And sincerely speaking, anybody sitting in this auditorium, I would not want us to live here with the mindset of it is not important, with the mindset of it is not my business. Because when your child brings a sickle cell warrior to marry, the antagonistic reaction we see is much. So you don't see another person sick like you are bringing here. A lot of families would not accept them. A lot of us will not accept them. The society has not accepted them. That is why the government has not seen the case as a serious issue. And we are just praying that this 2021 Awareness Day will just bring forth a brighter day for warriors. It is a prayer we are praying. We want to encourage families. Please, if you have a warrior around you, know how to talk, know how to understand where they are coming from. And we equally want to encourage religious home. Let us talk about this thing. It is a realistic problem. It is a problem that is with us. In our religious home, let us talk about genotype. You must know your genotype before you get married. It will guide you to take an informed decision. Love alone will not stand when a problem comes. We have seen many homes, many children that have been left in the dark, in the black, because of one party walking away. The love you are claiming is so strong, will not stand it. That is just the truth. And that is why we are appealing to us, even as religious leaders, as members of a religious body. Genotype talk, genotype awareness, you must allow it within your environment. It is not a taboo. We must talk about it. So many will not be where they are if they had known about it. The place of religion is not only to talk about, we talk about God, and this is part of God. ministry of schools, we appeal once again, please allow people that want to talk about sickle cell genotype, let them talk in your school. Let us catch these children young. When you have an information, you are able to take a stronger, better, and wiser decision. When you shield your child from knowing about genotype, when that child falls in love, you want to start talking, it doesn't work easily like that. And we want to equally appeal. You know, this program is going on various social media platforms. But we still want to say authoritatively that some people are still there that will not hear from radio. They don't have access to TV. They don't have access to Facebook. They don't have access to anything social media. We are talking about the grassroots level. There are those in the rural settings that will not see these programs, that will not have access to Facebook, and they make a major part of what we are talking about. Community leaders, rural settlement leaders, we are appealing at this time too. In your own way, bring in talks into your community. We have gone to some communities and the problems we faced because we wanted to speak about sickle cell, you won't believe. We were asked to settle the community leader, settle this person, this one want 10,000, this one, just to talk to them. Please, we appeal. Communities, allow us to enter into your communities and make this talk. We all need it. We are all part of the system. We should desire to be part of the solution. Genotype test. Some desire to know it. Some can't afford to pay for it. Some will not go to hospital just to have this test done. We want to be realistic as much as possible. You and I can easily say, I want to know my genotype. There are some people, if you don't take it to them, they will not get it. So we must attempt to equally use our abilities, financial capability, to support free genotype testing. It is not expensive, but some will not use their money. Some will not even leave their settlements to come and do it. We must put our finances to it. We must put our support into it for everyone in Nigeria to know their genotype. Even if some will still not do, let it be that is a very small percentage. Not a situation. Cairo here is not a remote center. We went to a home. Out of 137 students there, only about 12 knew their genotype. What happens to the rest? They will get married in there or outside there. And they will pick based on, I like you, I like me, our family likes, we like, and they get married. And this problem continues. And that is why we must educate to eradicate. If we don't educate, if we don't keep up with this awareness, we'll still be going in this circle. Part of the issue we have is equally girl-child marriage. When you take a child and you already nominate husband in future without the blood test, I'm not here to say whether it's right or wrong, even though I'm not for it. But please let genotype be a part of the consideration, even if families must choose spouse for their children. Put the genotype knowledge into consideration, not the family's business or togetherness carrying on. It must be a part of consideration. Stroke affects warriors a lot. Their sickness is something that keeps, you need to keep spending money. You need to keep spending money. And most times you see a lot of people dying because it's not available. our health system does not help matters. Sometimes you're there, you're busy running for blood, helter-skelter. You're busy even trying to look for how to get best way. We don't even have professional. You're talking, they are telling you this is it. It is a big issue that we cannot pretend does not exist. Going to hospitals now is not the easiest of things. For every little thing we talk about money. And these are the same set of people we don't want to employ. How do they get the money? Some time ago, late last year, I was called by one of my warriors. They caught him stealing. He was stealing pentazocine in the pharmacy, and they caught him. It's cheap, but he needed it. You know, sometimes we just say this is a problem of the society. Who are the society? We are the society. This morning we just appeal to us to allow us come together. Let it not be we have gathered and we have gone home after 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Let it be that from today, what do I want to do? You could support a sickle cell group. You could support NHIS that my brother wants to go into. You could decide I'm buying paludrin for a warrior every month. You could decide folic acid is 200 naira, I will buy for a warrior every month. You could decide I will help a warrior with a skill. If they get employment, let them be skilled wise. But determined to do one thing today and keep up with it. And none of us will lose our rewards by the grace of God. I want to celebrate Alhaji Shehu especially. You have indeed taken time to write a book that will not only help these generations, but even generations yet unborn. I read it and I can categorically say that. Thank you, sir, for being a blessing to the sickle cell community. We celebrate you. We celebrate everyone on the high table. God bless you, sirs. God bless you, ma. I will celebrate everyone seated there. I appreciate calling me up. It's a privilege for me to be here. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As you thank us, we also thank you. Please join me to appreciate her more. That's Mrs. Josephine Olunaike. So many lessons. I was just busy taking note from that beautiful presentation from my mind. One thing that she said that really struck me. You know, we Yorubas, we have this bad mouth that if you know the way Yoruba describe a warrior, they say Foniku Foladide. What a derogatory way. How can I even interpret that? If you domesticate that in your own native thing too, you discover that it appears we have something against this set of people. Meanwhile, every one of us has one ailment or the other that you are carrying about. I think precisely a year, the person you call warrior here was the one who evacuated me to National Hospital. Precisely a year. Malam Shehu here was the one that evacuated me from my office to National Hospital. And then I was diagnosed to have COVID-19. And then behold, all my friends, everybody, COVID-19, you know, the thing just came that time. Everybody was just, Madam, well done, no, I hope you are okay. One even said, even if they allow me to come and visit you, I will not come. But Madam Shehu took me there. Despite the fact that he's susceptible, he took me there in his car with another accountant here. So thank you very much. I'm using this opportunity to thank you since last year. So me too, I'm also a survivor. I spent 6 weeks there at National Hospital. So everybody, what I'm saying is that everybody has one ailment or the other that you are nursing. My Islam will tell you that Kuluku Moridu Ilama Shafaitao. That's what the prophet said, that every one of us, we have something or the other that we are not seeing. We pray Almighty Allah to ease all our affairs. Quickly, I want to recognize the following people who have been here since, all the way from Kaduna. I've seen the Olori Ebi Abdulmajid Muhammed, Gloria Moria. Where's Alhaji Abdulmajid Muhammed? Please stand up or just wave at me. Where are you? I want to see you are welcome all the way from Kaduna. You can see the Muhammad clapping for him alone. Those who are not Muhammad, please, you can also clap for him. It's the Olori Ebi, that's right. I also want to recognize Dr. I.O. Lawal, consultant urologist, National Hospital, Abuja. Dr. Lawal, okay, you are welcome. I also want to recognize people will be wondering, who is this Malam beside the Arab with turban? It's Malam Alhaj Aliyu Kusherki, the Katukan Kagara and Akimi Kusherki, and the chairman of the Muslim community of Evab Estate in Bora. He's a retired director, FCT Judicial Service Commission. How do we greet Kusherki? Is it like this? You are welcome, sir. Thank you very much. I equally want to, the Yoruba have a saying that when an elephant dies, you see all kinds of knives, isn't it? Now, there is an author here, and my friend has joined the Association of Nigerian Authors now with this book. So I have here a brother who I don't know of anyone here, and I start to be collected, who has written as many books as he has written in the last 15 years. And that is Malam Alhaj Abfatah Bello. I saw him with his agbada white. He's always in white. And if he's not in white today, I will remove my cap. Oh, he left here. Okay, I like to just step out and he's coming back. He's always in agbada and he's always in white. He just took a new wife recently. I will tell you the number of that wife. He has written more than 10 books in the last 10 years. So we welcome him. I also want to recognize Alhaji Bello Bashir Wale, all the way from Ogbomoso. Alhaji Bello Bashir Wale, please, can you just wave? Oh, you are welcome. I can also see Malam Bolaji Bakari is the chairman, CEO, MD of Bolaji Bakari and Associates. Can you just wave at us, please? It's Akerekoro, as we see him, so it's a multi-billionaire. Oh, I want to appreciate all members of Impact Sickle Cell Anemia Foundation. All members, please just wave. I'm also a member. You can see me waving. Please, you are all welcome. I also want to recognize the Beula Sickle Cell Foundation. Members from Beula Sickle Cell Foundation, please, and all other foundations that are here, we are celebrating all of you today. You are equally welcome. I hope I'm done with the recognition. Madam Shehu, I hope I'm done. I'm not done. What of Madam Isaka Diko from Kaduna? Have I recognized Madam Isaka Diko? Madam, please. Want to see you at the back. The person at the back didn't see you. This Madam Isaka Diko. I equally want to recognize Prince Razak Kadri's wife. Abi? Is that the name? Prince Razak Kadri's wife. Abi Wifeni. Okay, wife. Oh, Prince. How do the prince's wife? You should be queen. Abi princess. Olori. Olori. So you are princess. So you tell me Princess Razak Kadri. Don't be putting wife again. You are welcome. Thank you. So we recognize all of you. We'll continue to do the recognition as you come. The ushers, please be sending the names as now. Oh, Omoyemi is here. I want to recognize Alhaj Engineer Tawhid Abushon. Please stand up for recognition. Where is he? You have to stand up. Oh, that's it. That's another multi-billionaire in our midst. I won't tell, who is saying hi there? You buy 50 books today for saying ha. I say it's a multi-billionaire, you are saying ha. Oh. Look at his agbada as he's coming in majestically. Look at him as he's stepping down stylishly. Look at husband Abdul Fattah Dr. Adeyemi. Takbir! Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. He's a coach. He's a coach too. So some of his players are warriors. So he has to be here. Husband Abdul Fattah Adeyemi. Salaam alaikum. I don't know that the SARS also fear this thing that they used to cover. I thought with Kulu Walawa, Kulafu is okay. Sheikh Abdul Fattah. I thought the SARS are immune from covering their nose. Oh, I've seen that now. Okay. I equally want to recognize the editor-in-chief of Blueprint newspaper, my beloved sister, Ajia Zainab Okino. Please help me appreciate Ajia Zainab, a whole editor-in-chief. I'm aware that she's supposed to be on the field doing something, which I'm supposed to be doing. I've done my own a little bit this morning. I've done. And she sacrificed that to be here. Please, you are welcome, ma. Thank you very much. So let's go to the program. We'll continue with the program. We appreciate Mrs. Olaitan for that wonderful talk. We will now take a comment by medical doctor, Dr. Amina Jayola from Hematology Department, Nisa Premier Hospital. Dr. Jayola, please. Yeah. Dr. Jayola will speak with us for 10 minutes. Don't worry, I'll keep to time. I was taken away with that emotional talk from
the chairman of the occasion, the distinguished members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Amina Jayola, consultant hematologist and Nisa Premier Hospital, Jabi, Abuja here. I'd like to thank Madam Olaitan Shehu for this privilege and opportunity to be able to stand in front of this wonderful audience. In the last more than 10 years, I've been taking care of sickle cell warriors, and I have to say it's been very fulfilling seeing them through the challenges they face on a day-to-day basis. I would like to emphasize one thing. While listening to the last speaker, Mrs. Josephine, she did a wonderful job. She practically moved us through all the presenting features of this, which they usually have. So I wouldn't go into the medical aspect. But one thing I want to say is with regards to awareness. Hemoglobin genotype is very, very important. And we usually downplay this. It's not something that is preached mostly. Once we do this, it makes us know what our genotype is and who we can get married to. One myth that is commonly spread around is that once you are married to, once you're AS and you get married, you can only have one sickle cell warrior, and the other two will be hemoglobin AS, while you only have one hemoglobin AA. This is a myth that needs to be corrected. With each pregnancy, a woman has the probability of having this, of giving birth to a sickle cell warrior. That means if that woman gets pregnant 10 times, the probability of having a sickle cell warrior occurs at each pregnancy. So this is something I would want to point out. Another thing is that in line with what Malam Olaitan highlighted in his book, the emotional support is very, very important in these patients. The frustrations and anxiety with repetitive hospital admissions and need for blood transfusion and need for analgesics put them through a lot. So emotional support, which we as healthcare workers try to push in terms of seeing psychologists and psychotherapists to help in the management, is very, very important. Friends and families lending a good support system too cannot be overemphasized. I also want to thank Mr. Malam Olaitan Shehu again for this opportunity. The book is in line with the theme of sickle cell, World Sickle Cell Day for this year, which is to shine light on sickle disease. I believe the book speaks volumes about what they go through and will create more awareness for the public in general. I want to thank you again for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Please, kindly appreciate her more. She helped me to manage the time very well, and I'm happy. So, Dr. Jayola, thank you very much. You see, again, I still want to revert to Mrs. Olunake. She also stressed the role of mother. And I see that playing up in the altar of today. We pray unto Almighty Allah to forgive our mama, the mother of today's author, who really tried. She said something. She said, as adults, her mama would back her. Something similar like that happened to this Malam Shehu. You will not believe it. You just not believe it. Sincerely, you must not leave this hall without getting a copy of this book. If you don't have money, I will borrow you. You will pay later. Because you just need it, sincerely. Thank you very much, Dr. Amina Jayola, for that comment. Now, I now want to bring to the podium somebody who will tell us the nitty-gritty of the book we are here to launch. And that is Ajia Aisha Adafiruku. I've been learning rehearsing how to pronounce this name. When she come up here, I want her to tell me how to pronounce the name very well so that but while she is coming, I quickly want to recognize the presence of Ajia Alima Nagodo. Oh, it's Nasado. Nagado. I'm sorry. Yes, Ajia Amina. Oh, you are welcome, Alima. Also, I want to recognize the whole of Muhammed family from Kaduna, Lagos, Ibadan, Ulesha, Ofa, where again? Ilorin, where again? Kaduna, where again? Abuja. All of you, wait, Muhammad Dynasty, all of you, see there. You can see children and children. I can see Aisha Muhammad too. Aisha, start up for recognition. That's the last baby of the warrior. More are still coming, but that's the last baby. Aisha, let people see you. Let people see you now, Aisha. Are you shy? That is Aisha Muhammad. Oh, what of the bell lady? Aisha, where's your mom? I have not seen her. Mrs. Martina, that's the first lady. That's the mother. That's the person taking care of Malam Shehu. And the media trust staff that are here, please, you are all recognized. Don't let me delay Aisha Adaviruku. Adaviruku. You can see there's a consonant cluster which you have to pronounce very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, everyone. I'm humbled to be here today, and I want to thank Mr. Shehu Olaitan Muhammed especially And I also want to use this medium to congratulate you once again and pray that what you have started will yield bountiful harvest. Allow me to stand on existing protocol. I am Aishat Adavirugu, like he introduced me, and I'm introducing myself so that I can take note of my surname. So, I also want to specially thank all warriors here and welcome them for being here, because it is because of you that we're here today. You see how special you are? Now, I would attempt a review of book. I am a survivor. That's the blob there, the front page. I am a survivor. It is an autobiography by Mr. Shehu Olaitan Muhammed, FCA. A lot has been said, and I want to commence this review by sharing, a little backstory. When Mr. Shehu contacted me to give a review, I gave a review, and he wanted me to give the review based on my expertise and as a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. And then I accepted. I read the book. In the course of reading the book, I was expecting an excellent work from him because I've known him for. Now, what I found when I was reading the book was beyond my expectations, because please, a round of applause. Now, when I say it's beyond my expectation, I'm speaking from an informed perspective. Most of you here know me as a banker. Some of you know me as a neuro-programming practitioner and a growth strategist. What most of you don't know is that I am a graduate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, literature in English. That's my degree. So, when I say, what I'm going to do today is a literary review of the book. And it's on this background that I'm going to, my background as a literary critic is what I'm going to do this review on today. So, just a moment. So, the book, I Am a Survivor, is the story of triumph over sickle cell pains. It captures the accounts of the life of the author, Mr. Shehu Olaitan. And this book is graced by, the cover is graced by his vibrant picture. That's his picture there on the cover of the book. And it leaves the first publication, and we're going to do the launching today. He dedicated the book to God Almighty and then to his parents. Throughout the book, we see the story of how his mother was always there for him and his brothers. Him and his brothers, during the course of his life, had to go through, a lot of pains because of this disorder. And his mother was always there. His father too was always there, right? There is this word that Yoruba people use, abiyamototo. What does it mean? So, abiyamototo. So that's the we can use that short description for his mother. His mother was a mother indeed. May God forgive her and widen her grave and pour light on it. So when you look at the kind of support him and his brothers had from his parents, and beyond this, his uncle, Engineer Muhammad, and his wife, Mrs. Bimpe, took him in. He didn't start exhibiting crisis early until when he was about 10 years old. So his father maybe thought, as he related in the book, thought that it was a gimmick initially, and he bundled him off to Ibadan to be under the care of his uncle. And his uncle was there for him. His uncle and his wife was there for him in spite of his crisis, in spite of everything. Sometimes they have to go to school to evacuate him to hospital, or to evacuate him home for home care. So when you see this kind of love, family love, the Mohammeds are, for me, a symbol of unity and family love. When you see this description in the family, it's so beautiful when you see it, that it's something that everybody can look up to as an inspiration. If we're already doing it in our families, alhamdulillah. If we're not doing it, then it's something that we can emulate. It's the way it is recollected and painted in the book is so beautiful. It's a story. So from this perspective, I can say that the book, one of the themes is family love and unity. That's just one of the themes. There are a lot of themes littered across the book, and I will go back to the core message that the author wants us to take away. But these are some of the themes that is recurring throughout the book. Now, the author also mentioned the importance of all the foundations, where we've seen one of the founders speak here. Haja Halima is in the audience there. And so I'm going to mention here that all his family members, his medical team in Ile-Ife, Ibadan, Kaduna, and Abuja were all giving due attention in the book. Now, this is an extract from the book, the beginning. He said, sickle cell disorder puts patients, their family members, friends, and caregivers in hellish conditions. To survive this ailment is like walking on a narrow and swinging rope across an ocean. Can you see that picture? It's like you are walking on a narrow. Have you ever seen that in a movie, or have you attempted it? For some of us who did NYC here, there is this rope you have to swing on. So that's the description he's giving us here. He said, it's very tempting overcoming this ailment, and it's a tough task that saps the energy in everyone, stretching everybody in the family to their limit. It is a struggle of life and death. It is a struggle that puts one faith to test. Remember, he said he was once through depression, and this is why it is important to have support from psychologists and psychotherapists. And this is one of the reasons initially he contacted me to write a review. And this is core for anyone going through any form of trauma, because we human beings are made for social connection. Connection is that thing that gets you up in the morning even when you don't want to get up. If you have a child, your child needs attention. If you need to go to work, your work needs attention. And why do you work? So you can fend for yourself and those under your care. So we are made for social connection. Once we're able to expand our capacity to widen our social network, there's what we call the wheel of life. It's one of the core there. Your social life has to be. It's one of the things you need to live a full and fulfilling life. Once you get this right, it will impact positively on all your other spheres of life. So I'll go on with his extract. He said, it is a struggle that puts one's faith to test. It is a financial, physical, psychological burden. It could also be a psychological trauma. Despite all the obvious pains and struggle, it is a battle that can be won, though. It requires extra effort, extra faith, can do and never give up spirit, and painstaking management. His former managing director gave us an account of how he displayed this in his life right here. So thank you very much, sir, for that story from your own perspective. So now, when you go on this kind of journey, it's like you cry along, when there is so much sadness in the book, and like its characteristics of the author, there is humor, also sprinkled all around the book. So you cry and then you laugh. It's a balance. So I would also state the objective of the author in writing this book. It's an extract from the book. He said, to raise awareness of sickle cell anemia and its associated complications, to raise awareness on why it is important for individuals to know their genotype. The founder of one of the foundations here spoke extensively on this. To discourage relationships that could result in offspring with sickle cell disorder. Now, this is also called when we do, especially for counselors, when we do premarital counseling. I offer premarital counseling services under Ustaz Al-Fatah at International Center for Islamic Culture and Education. And this is one of the things we insist that couples do when they want to get married. They should do the genotype test. To discourage relationships that could result in offspring with sickle cell disorder, to encourage sickle cell patients never to give up on challenges posed by the disorder, to encourage sickle cell patients, caregivers, parents, family, and friends of sickle cell patients, and letting them know how best they could be of help to patients, to give tips on lifestyle that could help in reducing the impact of the disorder in one's life, using myself as case study. He had a lot of nuggets using himself and his brother's struggle. And he also, gave a review, just like I'm giving a review on the book now. He gave a review on the drugs that he's been using and the impact on him and, some other warriors he has spoken to. So it's a very good handbook for warriors to have. You have this, and then you can discuss on some of the drugs he mentioned there. You can discuss them with your health, your medical personnel person, and see if there is anyone you would be interested in introducing as your own personal care. Now, I would say that, just a moment. So for him, he said the disorder was a blessing because it made him come up with self-management tips to enhance his personal success. On page 68, he said, even when we had assignments with a week for submission, I ensured that I got mine ready within 3 days. My fear was always the thoughts that I could take it along the line and I won't be able to submit the work. It challenged him to do better and be better. And this has shown, even in his job, in his family life, and in his, his present commitment to creating awareness, in launching this book, and every other thing plan he has for the future for enhancing the life both of himself and all warriors. Now, he also looked at peer pressure and overcoming it, because in spite of what he was going through, there were times when some of his peers tried to introduce drugs to him, to abuse drugs like marijuana, and he said no, that he was not cut out for that. So it is very important for us to have our own innate confidence in spite of our trials, and know that these trials are meant to make us stronger. There is an interesting and inspirational quote I also extracted from the book. It is patience, persistence, and hard work paid even for a sickler. Note that the sickler is in inverted comma, because the author has rightfully argued that sickle cell patients are not sicklers. They may have a disorder, but it is not supposed to be termed Sickle because it is highly negative. So you can say that you can, going forward, term them warriors, not Sicklers. So now, how has the author succeeded in achieving his aim? I would say that the vivid recollection of his upbringing, his significant emotional experiences, his inner turmoils and questions, his environment and education, and his highly descriptive account of his past has rendered this work a quintessential work of art. And I speak as a literary critic when I say this. So, I would say that the author has succeeded in his quest to create awareness and also inspire all those going through this, fighting this disorder, that it is a battle that can be won. And beyond this, the book is a page turner. It is a book that you will not want to put down. And I would say that this book stands shoulder to shoulder with the works of the likes, excuse me. No, thank you. So I would say that, just a moment, let me take. Okay, so I would say that this book has succeeded in raising awareness, and beyond that, it is a good literary read for anyone who wants to. It's for everybody, parents, even if you feel that you don't have anybody going through this in your family, you should still read this book because it's an expo on personal growth and success. He has sprinkled, throughout the book, how to do this. As a neuro-linguistic programming expert and growth strategist, I would recommend this book to everyone, beyond it being, for warriors and their caregivers. So, in the book, you would recall that he also mentioned how he was able to rise from the position of an assistant manager to general manager at his media outfit. And his boss also told us, his character. So it's not only about us reading it in the book, but we have his boss here to tell us how he did that. So I would say the author is indeed a living legend because of the quality of work and the stories we have read about him, and also for those who have lived with him, worked with him, the stories they have told us, have collaborated what he has told us in his book. I therefore submit that this book is a must-have for everyone present here and beyond. Thank you very much to everyone present. You are now advocates for warriors, and you should go forward and remember that you have a responsibility to educate others who are not here today, and also recommend this book to them. The author is going to tell us where we can get them, both online and the physical copy. And I want to also once again thank Mr. Shehu for bringing us all here and for writing this book for posterity. Thank you so much to everyone present.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Ajia, Aisha. Oya, join me in pronouncing the second name. Yawa. Thank you very much for that wonderful review. Now, she has given us appetite that I'm really eager to read the book again and again. Is that not the third time? 30% of your money. I said if that thing disturb me, 30% will go from it. Quickly, I want to recognize the presence of Ajia Saratu Usman, all residents of Febab Estate, Alhaji Mutiu Adebayo Odela, the Chairman Islamic Dawa Group. My brother, Dodekire. Alhaji Odela, okay, my Shah, Salam Alaikum. I want to recognize Adeban Boluwa Shehu, ICANN Abuja, people from ICANN. Malam Shehu is a man of many parts. He's a chartered accountant, he's an Ijesha man, he's Muhammed, he was at CFA, he belonged to Media Trust, and then he lives in Febab State, and all the residents here is recognizing you. Also, Zainab Abubakar of Zayana Sickle Foundation. Zainab Abubakar Ajia, you are welcome. And then Surura Ogunfemi of Guided Beginning, Kado, Abuja. We want to, Zainab Abubakar Foundation, I've just mentioned that now. Now we have reached the highlight of the program. That's the nitty-gritty. I hope we are speeding up. We said we are going to leave here by 1. That is what is in our program here, even though some of you didn't come on time. We have to wait for you for 30 minutes. So I may be forced to remove that 30 minutes later. I may be forced. But if you hasten up, I won't deduct it. So it is my pleasure and honor to invite the book launcher, the chief presenter, our father, all the way from Ilorin, Alhaj Latif Ahmad Okondeji. And you see, it's good when you give birth to somebody, your baby, and give a good name. He is here wearing 2 caps, and his name is Okondeji. He's here, he will be playing a dual role of the chief launcher, of the chief presenter for himself, and for Alhaji Yekin Mustafa. So it is my honor to call our father to come and help us present the book. Please, a round of applause. So continue until you start talking. If you stop, it will stop. Continue. I want you to appreciate him more.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rahim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. With profound respect and with most humility to the chairman of today's occasion, I wish to rest on all already established protocols. A lot of time has been spent here. My assignment this morning is not to talk, but just as the compere has said, I'm here in 3 capacity. No, then I'll tell you the meaning of that name. My father is the only child of his parent. That's the origin of Okande. Then I'm privileged to be Baba Ibeji. I ran into the book on the social media, so I established contact with my brother. I was highly excited because I know the social stigma that people with this kind of amnesia used to go through in the society. They are always endangered, species, or outcast within wherever you are. But thank God for his life. The first leg of my assignment, there's a group of us Alhaji Abdul Mustafa. I wanted to keep my coming a secret from him. So he called me on Monday after exchanging our normal present, and I said, me and I thought we'll meet at Abuja on Saturday. And I said, he was supposed to be here in the capacity as the chief lodge, but he said, I will be here. You will have time to attend some other thing, but I can rest assured that he's well with us in spirit, in body, and soul. And he has asked me to greatly. I think what we wrote there is presentation. How are you going to do it? Who is going to? Where the money? Okay. Okay, what he has asked me to do in personal capacity, he asked me to make available a cash sum of 1 million naira.
Please appreciate that, please. Thank you.
Uh, 1 million naira from Alhaji Abdul Mustafa. I did not interrupt the program. A single trend run through all present here who have a biological relationship with. So you started the chain from at a lower level. I want all descendants of Ajia, Aisha, Omatola, Adetola, who are present here to stand up for recognition. That is the progenitor of the larger family. You can just really sit down. So, among the nucleus, you have Yusufu Alabi, the Muhammed, the Balogun, the Kelani, the Imam. If you go to the subsection, you will find Olo Ogada, Asiru, Idiaro, Akpalando. Then we have some of us have married in Niger State and all over. It's a very big family. So the second leg is he has also simultaneously asked me to, on behalf of the Aisha Adetola family, purchase 50 copies of the book for 500,000 naira. I simply I buy one dance in my own capacity, 100,000 naira for 10 copies of the book. I expected the compares when I expect the others now to have distributed the account number so that everyone present here will have, for some may be very shy, may not want to come. But I don't want to gloss over it. The Olórí was recognized. This one will not without prejudice. I want him to come here. Let him open the floor.
Olórí Abdul Muhammed, stand up for recognition. KB, usher him here. KB, usher him here. KB.
And then we have a powerful secretary, Tawa Lawa. We are doing it.
Okay. Of the Descendant Union.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Majid will invite any other person who are supposed.
Once Alhaji call you, just come out like that to Haji Tawa Lawal. Please come.
Well, Mukaila Alabi is there.
You know you are representing each dynasty. Wani Kudrat Muhammed too should come up. Haji Kudrat Muhammed should come up. If you know you are supposed to come, you didn't come, I will call your name. Ajia Basira Balogun, come up. Who else? Who else? Bolanko. So,
the other is that there are some I have not seen in the last 20 years, but we are always in communication. Thank God for
this is
Olaitan bringing
Bola Olawuyi.
So, I want you to set the ball rolling.
Baba, we are close.
Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. We thank God for being here because of that. On behalf of the family, our senior brother has done something for us. So for us, all here, we are going to play for the book club. 10 copies, right? And as you did 10 copies, Latif, as you did.
So that will be distributed among all the gigs equitably, so that nobody will feel cheated. But since you are here, you can make pledge on behalf of your own nuclear family, because I know your madam has sent you from
Nuclear family, 50,000. Muhammed, 50,000.
Yeah, about my one cock. Hello, Tuku.
All allowing and family 100,000 by the grace of God.
how many copies? 10.
Yes.
On behalf of the Sunny Ariago family, 25,000 naira.
You know, on behalf of myself, my family, I pledge 50,000 naira.
KB.
On behalf of Alabi, 100,000.
Is that someone? Oh yeah, Ajia.
Hey, Kubura, come and say something.
Kiwa. Kiwa. Amen. She was praying. She prayed that may God put blessing and barakah on this effort.
So every other
Let
person,
us say amen.
that does not end.
Okay.
Every other person will still reach out.
Okay. As the chief launcher, before you go, the people in diaspora, would they want to do their own launching now or later? And now, iMedia. They said the people in the diaspora want to do launching online. Let's see them. Are you project there? So it's a little Latin man really. Okay, I think we can continue. Okay, so now, Ali Kushelki, let's.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The able chairman, Shehu, the author of the book, and those on the high table.
Sorry, sir. A lot of people are asking for the account number. There is a slip that you will get. The account number where you pay is there. Please, the ushers, please bring this thing around. People are asking for the account number.
Even though you don't know how much you are going to write it.
Good afternoon. I'm Shehu Muhammed Kusharki. Just as the MC said, I'm Katuk and Kagara and district head of Kusharki in Niger State. But I reside here in Abuja, FAP City Estate, together with Alai Shehu, who is my very, very good neighbor. He's a member of the Muslim Forum in the estate. So in fact, last week he came to my house and brought this invitation to me. And in fact, I was very, very happy for that. I called all my family to come and meet him and greet him because he's a very good neighbor. All members of his family and clan and what have you, believe me, you are very lucky to have Alai Shehu in your midst. He's gentle, quiet, focused, and he knows his onion. He knows how to live with people. He's praying in our mosque. He's one of the strong members of my mosque in the FAP estate. So in fact, what we're here to launch or to present, in fact, it is very, very good because I read a summary of it. If I go back to the grassroots, to my primary assignment as the district head of Kusharki, in fact, this book is going to be very good for us, especially my Emirate Council, Kagara Emirate Council. Though we know the impacts and the danger and what have you of those that are suffering from this disease. But alhamdulillah, in our area, if there is going to be marriage ceremony, or nikah, or fatiha, both the groom and the bride must present certificates showing the category of their blood, HIV details and what have you. And in fact, we are trying as far as the issue of these warriors, because I now learned about this new word, warriors. Before I only know sickle cell patient and what have you. But this warrior is very good. Though he's not soldier, he has no gun, but he's battling with that disease himself, family, and the doctors. Really, it is really war. So I appreciate to hear this word here, warriors. So alhamdulillah, so without waste too much of our time, I will pledge on behalf of my forum, FFSF Muslim Forum, I'm pledging 50,000 naira.
Allah Akbar.
And myself and family, I will push to the account, to the bank, 20,000 naira on behalf of myself and my family.
Allah Akbar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Yeah, we thank Alhaji Aliu Kucheki for that wonderful presentation. Let me quickly invite the representative of, you are on now. Okay, the people in the diaspora, they want to do their lunch. Do you need the mic? Do you need the mic? Oh, they are hearing me. Okay, the people in the diaspora, over to you, please. Just mention your name. Let's have your good message in 1 minute and do the launching. You are on. How can we hear them here? Do you need the mic?
ahead. Go ahead, sir. Please go ahead. Unmute yourself. Abi, is that not the language you say? You say unmute yourself. Mute yourself. We are. Sheikh Abdul Fattah. Is that not? We are. Sheikh Abdul Fattah. Is that not? Can we amplify the audio? Do you need the mic? Can we amplify the audio? Do you need the mic? You can hear me, but you can't hear me. Can you send us a message via the chat box? You can hear me, but you can't hear me. But don't you think we should amplify with the mic? If, let's amplify with the mic. Please, we are here to unveil the book, so don't go if you have not even seen the book. See, can it type the donation on the Google message? Can it just type it if the audio is not coming up in the chat box? It's even quicker that way.
I can hear you. Oh, let me sit down. You can go ahead now. Okay. Everybody. My name is
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. The only thing I can't put here is but I have 1 million naira. Did you also hear 1 million naira? That's the only thing I'm hearing now. 1 million naira. Please, I want a round of applause for him. This Malam Shehu said when they were at Ife. They are all accountants. Thank you very much. We appreciate you for your effort, for your tenacity. They are in the diaspora, and you can see they are still showing interest in what is happening back home. So that's to tell you that not all Nigerians there are doing yahoo yahoo. Some of them are doing great things. We have our great brain in the diaspora. Thank you very much. We are so proud of you. Proudly Nigerian. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Do you still have more donation from the diaspora? Operator, any other person there? Thank you very much. You can see who come to us. We will do unveiling of the book now. Madam, so you must get the book across to the people in the diaspora. Thank you very much. You want to announce it? Well, there's a presentation from Dr. Wada for, he said they don't call it Sickle, for what, 10 warriors. 10 warriors, there's a gift. It's a gift of presentation for 10 warriors. So please let us appreciate Dr. Wada. This is drugs worth several thousands of naira. Thank you very much. Our appreciation to Dr. Wada. Let me take the goodwill message now from Right Honorable Abike W. Elewa, and then Ustaz Al-Fatai. Ustaz Al-Fatai Adeyemi. I equally want to recognize the presence of Justice Ajoke Adepoju of the FCT High Court. Please, the usher should help me bring her in. I've sensed her presence inside, but I've not seen her, but I've sensed that she's in. Okay.
Good morning, distinguished guests. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to firstly express my gratitude on behalf of Honorable Abike W. Erewa, Chairman of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, who was unable to make it but wished she could. So thank you, sir, for extending an invitation to this lovely book launch. Mrs. Josephine Olunaike, it was really heartbreaking listening to your experience living with the disease. The term warriors is indeed apt for all living with the disease, so I salute you all. On this World Sickle Cell Awareness Day, it is important to stop and reflect on the achievements of those living with the sickle cell disease. So to all warriors here and out there, again, I salute you. It is not an easy fight, and with each day, you beat the odds of a bleak life without you. Mr. Shehu, sir, I must commend you on your bravery in sharing your story and serving as an advocate and a beacon of hope for many living with the disease. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the importance of having treatments for the disease in our National Health Insurance Scheme and your mission to have indigent patients enrolled in the NHS. Using the book to highlight the gaps and also proffering tips on how to live with the disease is a welcome relief, and I'm sure it's not just to me but to everyone here. It's not very often that the mental and psychological effects of diseases are talked about. It's an exciting prospect to see where your visions for the sickle cell hub leads. Well done, sir. Sickle cell disease, like you rightly mentioned, is not a death sentence, and with a better health system and energy put into its proper management, warriors can have a good quality of life. More investments, partnerships, and collaborations are needed and should be encouraged in the fight against this disease. Finally, I want to once again thank you for having us. May Allah keep you and elevate you and grant you success in all you do. Amin. Jazakumullah khair.
Please kindly appreciate the Chairman CEO Nigeria Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike W. ably represented by Khadija Abubakar. Thank you very much.
Another good message from the National Secretary of UNIFEMGA worldwide, Alhaji Abdulgani Oladokun, representing the National President of UNIFEMGA worldwide, Engineer Abdulfatah Olalege. 2 minutes. Chairman, we are just buying time to wait for you for the unveiling. So now that we are back now, we will do that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The chairman and members on the high table, ladies and gentlemen, I am speaking for the National President of UNIFEMGA, Engineer Abdulfatah Olalege, and I asked me to say these few words. Banasho, he said on behalf of the National Executive Council and the Board of Trustees of UNIFEMGA, I join our brother to say Alhamdulillah for his life. Indeed, the author struggle was a great challenge. As witnessed by my wife, now this is the wife of the National President, not my wife, Dr. Shakira Olalege, 25 years ago when she was a house officer, supporting the team managing our brother in Ibadan. His miraculous recovery and eventual survivor are strong testimony and blessing of his total resilience and reliance on Allah. In the words of my wife, that's the wife of the National President, that was the first time I would see a patient in serious pains on a hospital bed performing regular salat, and I will wonder, and I will continue to wonder. I'm glad, of course, some of us in Ibadan that time, we can testify, can bear testimony to that. Each time you go to hospital to see Madam Shehu, while he's smiling, we all leave the place crying. We thought he was going to die, but today, alhamdulillah, he survived. I'm glad he found the time to put pen and paper to share this experience, which I'm sure will educate the seemingly oblivious and at-risk population and give hope to already infected people directly or indirectly. Let me stop, because it's not time to use speeches. But for me, from the lecturer, Mrs. Josephine, that's a point she made that on the issue of genotype test. I think all of us, when we go back, I'm not saying anybody here, in our extended family back home, we could give this counseling, we could give this advice, this is what we can do. And we can sponsor genotype tests within our own extended family. It won't cost us a fortune. I'm sure many of us here could do that. So let's be one of our take away from here. That when we go back, let's educate our family and let our children, extended family, not our immediate family, let them know their genotype. I think this is one of the things I want us to take away from here, please. Thank you. So on behalf of UNIFEMGA, the National President has asked me, I don't know whether the chapters are here, because they have said that each of the chapters should buy at least 5 of the books. Fine. So on the behalf of the national body, he has asked me to buy 10 copies for 50,000 naira. On behalf of himself, Engineer Abdulfatah Olalege, he said I should buy a copy for 25,000 naira. Maybe I should not wear the cap of the national president and begin to call our members who are here, who I'm not sure can do better than our Abraham will do that. Because you are my allure too, so that I don't jump the gun. So I think chapters who are here should also come. Abuja chapter chairman is here. I can see him. In the chapters, okay, Alaja Abraham said will take over from here. Assalamu alaikum.
Okay. Thank you very much, Alhaji Abdulgani Oladokun, for that. So, individual event, I'm still going to call you. The author is insisting that I should call his Oga that he should announce, he should make your speech before you do the unveiling. You can do it from there, sir. Abi?
Are you talking about donation? But Shehu knows I don't donate publicly. But in any case, this is a special occasion, like I said earlier, and it's gratifying to know that the book has received a lot of attention and interest. You can see a lot of people here, even from abroad, who are participating on this launching with us. And I believe this is the beginning, because the intention of the author is to use the proceed to help others who are in his condition. And as a result, I'm also going to make donations of 500,000 naira.
Please, that applause is too small for a donation of 500,000 for the chairman of today's occasion and Shehu's Oga. Thank you very much. We have asked some Oga who sacked Shehu because he's a sickle cell warrior. So these are Oga who accommodated him, and for over 20-something years they've been working together, and he's still here to support him with 500,000 naira. Please, he deserves another round of applause. Let me quickly call Dr. Abdul Fattah to give 1 or 2 minutes stimulation. Message. While he's coming, I'm recognizing ICANN Abuja and District Society, Dr. Abdul Rashid Balogun, Chairman, Prince Adebambo Oluwaseun, Vice Chairman, Adesonya Adeyemi Ilabe, wow, Ilabe, Deputy Vice. You have to formulate some of those up here today. Then there's a car, AKG 605DL, Mercedes-Benz, ash color. You are blocking some other motorists. Please go and repark your car. AKG 605DL, Mercedes-Benz, ash color. Same. Another ash color, Hyundai Elantra, Abuja, Gwagwarada. You know, some people don't know their number that is from Gwagwarada. But it's an ash color, Hyundai Elantra 243. Please go and repark. They have enough parking space by the back there. Don't block any other. Yeah. What's here? Dr. Abdul Fattah Adeyemi.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. From my very good friend and brother Elijah Shehu and all the protocols earlier on observed, and my sisters and my brothers that are here present, may Almighty Allah be pleased with all of us. I want to say, it's difficult for me to promise that I will say a few words, but let me see how far I can go before the MC's attention